welcome back everyone to another episode of Mindshift with Luca, myself, and I'm here with Jonty. Jonty is rocking a cool Zoom background today. He's got the space, the Earth, the Earth from outer space background in honor of the successful SpaceX launch. I actually just thought it's quite cool that you have it like for nighttime, because today we're going to be talking about sleep and how important sleep is for us. And Jonty, I wanted to ask as the opening question, how did you sleep last night?
Listen, Ed, I had a really good snooze. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Went to bed quite late though.
I'm loving your background. Because it's like I'm imagining like falling asleep, and that's what I imagine. For everyone who can't see, that's what I imagine when I go to sleep.
the big dark space with all the stars.
Exactly.
God, sure. It's a Sunday, so I woke up at like 9 o'clock today. What a treat. But I mean, for everyone who knows me, they'll literally tell you I'm a huge sleeper. Hey, I need my 8 or 9.
I can even say
10
like
hours.
You put off our call sometimes because you go in for naps and you need to put in your nap.
My naps. Sleeping is. I think it's, people talk about being healthy and sleep always comes up. It's the diet, it's the exercise, then it's the sleep,
Exactly.
And what I really also...
It's one of the pillars. It's one of the pillars of health.
The science behind it is, actually, especially for, people who are learning and studying and, working and learning new skills, when you're sleeping, your brain actually... solidifies those pathways actually when you're sleeping. Things that
and like it does that compartmentalization of like all the information you've taken in and everything.
Yeah, there's some really cool science behind it. And the standard thing is, you always need 8 hours of sleep. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Everyone's different. I think that's, some people can get by on 6 hours of sleep, sure, but not me. Hey, if I don't get my 8 hours, I'm a zombie for the rest of the day.
100%. And like, I mean, look, we are by no means scientists, and like we have to very much disclose that we like not sleep experts, and we're not experts in a lot of the stuff we talk about. But I think it's relevant, in business and work and whatever we're doing. Sleep is so relevant, and I've come from, in my earlier years of university, definitely like disrespecting sleep and going to bed late, waking up whenever, and like I just felt terrible. And like I think when I finally managed to hack, when I managed to hack sleep, it got a lot better. And like I felt a lot better. And like what you say, everyone's different. It's so true, because I don't think necessarily the 8-hour rule is actually true, because I felt in myself, I can only speak for myself. When I sleep exactly 8 hours, sometimes I feel terrible. Actually,
oversleep.
I don't know. I watched an interview with someone who was actually like a sleep doctor or someone who had actually done research on sleep, and they were saying like, where did this 8-hour rule come from? Like, it's like the thing that says, you have to have cereal for breakfast. Who said that? Who, like, you know what I mean? Like, where did that come from? Like, not necessarily. I think you have to sleep, for a good amount of time that makes your body feel rested and lets your mind recuperate and that sort of thing. So, I found a sweet spot between 7 and 8 hours. It's like, if I go below 7 hours, I'm going to feel like terrible. And then on the reverse side, if I go more than 8 hours, I actually feel terrible as well. Like I feel like zombie.
So you got to find that balance.
Yeah, I need to find a balance. And like, I don't know, I've looked into so many things like sleep cycles, because obviously, you have a sleep cycle, which is like light sleep. Each sleep cycle is like an hour and a half. And if I remember correctly, I could be completely wrong, but it's like you go into light sleep, then deep sleep, then light sleep, deep sleep, then REM, then like starts again, and that all takes an hour and a half. This was when I was listening to like a proper podcast, and then basically the perfect time to wake up is on that hour and a half, on the end of that hour and a half cycle. So if you like time your sleep to wake up on like 7.5 hours, that's a perfect sleep cycle. So then you're like, cool.
Sure.
But I've also found that doesn't work like perfectly for me. So I don't know. It's weird. Like
The thing is,
yeah.
I've never taken a very scientific route to my sleeping, and sometimes maybe that's a good thing, because sometimes
No, it is.
overthinking things and
I agree.
can make. But I mean, I've seen with my Fitbit, for example, you can actually look at how your sleep cycles work. And
Yes,
how
yes.
how you're sleeping. I've been meaning to try that out. But I mean,
so Jonty, have you done the like sleep when you're tired, and if you're tired during the day, you have a nap or whatever. Like you don't really.
yeah, I mean, on the weekends I just sleep in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I mean, I like an hour nap on the weekends in the afternoon.
There's that whole thing that says, there's that whole thing. I don't know how you feel. That's actually interesting. Like, there's that whole thing that says, oh, you shouldn't nap for more than 20 minutes. You shouldn't. No, not.
Oh, sure.
Shouldn't nap. You shouldn't nap for more than 20 minutes. I've heard that. I read that saying that you shouldn't nap for more than 20 minutes because then you'll zonk your body out, because you are going into more of a sleep cycle, whatever. You're going into a deeper sleep, and therefore you're not going to feel as good. Whereas like a cat nap, you like keep in like light sleep or whatever.
I think what's also is like, there's no exact science for one person. I think that's
the thing
to acknowledge.
But how do you feel? How do you feel after that 1 hour sleep during the day? Like, how do you feel?
You wake up initially. You wake up and you feel terrible initially, but then, but then after 5 or 10 minutes, you like rejuvenate,
ready to go. Yeah.
But I mean, I wanted to, because I've looked into it, because there have been times where I struggle with sleep, and so I think there are things that definitely do work and that are important, like actually going to bed and waking up at the same time.
Yes, building a routine.
I think that's important,
because
your body likes routine. I think you don't understand, like, your body has a big effect on you if you have one late night, when you don't follow that routine. But I've also heard now that it's actually more important to be waking up at the same time rather than going to bed at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's what I've heard now, which is quite interesting. And I think I have noticed when I do get into a good routine, then my sleep is way better, because then you like fall asleep at generally the same time, wake up at generally the same time, and you're getting consistent good sleep. So I think the consistency is quite important, definitely, with sleep. The other thing which is huge, is I'm quite bad. I do go on my phone before I go to bed. But I've actually noticed, like, if I put my phone away like an hour before, some people even say, like, leave your phone outside of your room or somewhere where you can't get it, like before you go to bed, like at least half an hour before you go to bed. Because the blue light on your phone actually does mess with 100%. Your circadian rhythms 100%. Or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with that, I don't know if you've ever felt it properly, but like I've literally got I've got evidence, proof to myself that like the phone actually stops me from sleeping, because I know when I like watch a video before bed, like go have a little, we all know, like the little YouTube binge before you go to sleep, or like just the quick scroll, 5 minutes. It's classic. And like, I felt my brain be like, it's weird to say aloud, but I've literally felt my brain be awake when I'm trying to go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like I feel like alert. And I think that's where that thing about the blue light comes in, where it like triggers you to be awake and whatever. I think it's legit. Like, and I felt so many benefits of like leaving my phone for like half an hour to an hour before I go to sleep, and putting like the calmer, like the night mode on, because like most phones have that. Most phones have that night mode. Yeah, the warmer light. Yeah, exactly.
You even feel it. It's so much softer on your eyes.
Exactly.
But also, which I think has been helping a lot, is a good calm down or chill routine before bed. So I generally read
100%.
But on top of that, we've spoken about it. I have the Headspace app on my phone.
So do you do a little meditation before?
They have a wind down routine, and you basically, and it's similar to actually apparently what the guys in the army do if they want to fall asleep, like anyway. You basically picture like every part of your body like relaxing, and you do like a bottom up or top down scan.
Body scan,
and breathing as well, and you relax, and you kind of like get into this very relaxed meditative state.
Yeah, exactly.
That actually helps a lot as well.
Yeah, I mean, when I did something similar when I had my Calm subscription. what I would do is I would actually put my phone like on the desk, say, across from my bed, and play this like this breathing sort of routine or whatever. It was like literally a sleep breathing routine where you do something called box breathing, where you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and you repeat that the whole time. And it literally put me to sleep. And I got to this weird place. It was like during final exams last year, Jonty, like I got to this weird place where I couldn't fall asleep without it. Like it was the weirdest thing. And it was like routine. And and like we were talking about waking up at the same time every day and going to sleep at the same time every day. I felt better going to sleep at 10 p.m. and waking up at 6 a.m. I sound like an old person, but like I felt better in that routine where like I wake up earlier in the week and then I sleep in on the weekends. I felt better in that like constant routine of waking up earlier. And like life happens and whatever, and it's hard to keep up. But I've just felt really good in that routine.
Yeah, I feel routine is so important. And I'm actually bad because on the weekends I like to sleep in, and then I actually wake up feeling tired, and it's probably because my body's out of rhythm.
And I hate that.
That's why I end up sleeping the whole of my Saturday and Sunday away.
Exactly. I hate that. I just hate feeling like tired and zonked. Like even if I'm not doing something productive, I still like to feel like energized.
Yeah.
That's why I've taken
That's
why I've taken such a big step to like hack sleep and.
Yeah. I mean, another thing they say you should do when you wake up is put cold water on your face, even like wash your hands with cold water or a cold shower.
Cold shower.
They actually say, there's apparently been a study, I'm not too sure on the stats, but people who have cold showers in the morning are like better immune systems or something. Yeah. But don't quote me on this.
Don't quote you.
It could be complete rubbish, but
I've also experimented with cold showers, and like they are revolutionary. I'm telling you. You literally feel like completely energized and like awake. You step inside as a zombie and you emerge as like a new person. It's crazy, actually.
Yeah,
but it's terrible. I mean, it's terrible though. Like it's very unpleasant.
It's not a good experience. I'd rather just prefer washing my face with very cold water when I wake up, and that usually gets me full of energy. But there's so many. I suppose I think there definitely are things out there that are good for helping sleep.
Yeah, and I mean the thing for sleep, why I find it so important is that like I feel like I need to perform, whether it's in my like job or doing the social media stuff that I do, or like doing this with you, Jonty. Like I feel like I need to perform at my highest level, and like I know that on a terrible night's sleep I'm not going to perform. So that's why I've taken steps, and like that's been a big thing for me, is like attack this thing, like go on the offensive and like actually prioritize getting your sleep, like making sure you sleep well and feeling good, because I don't think it's just going to happen. Like you have to take steps to build in your morning routine, build in your evening routine, because those are things that help me sleep so much better. Limiting the TV right before bed, so you're not like alert, stimulated, waking up and getting your this is something also I read, is like getting 15 minutes of sunlight in the morning actually helps you sleep better at night, which is like the weirdest thing ever.
Sure. Must help with your circadian rhythms.
And like your melatonin levels, it like regulates them. Also, don't quote me on that. Like, I'm not sure.
But I think also what's important is to not overthink it, because that exactly. Also happens. The more you try to fall asleep or think about it, the more you don't, or the harder it is to fall asleep. So sometimes for some people,
of course. No, that's happened to me. It's happened to me. Like you stress yourself out as you're lying in bed because you're not falling asleep, and then you get in a cycle of not falling asleep, and then stressing yourself out.
It's also about, I think, a good routine, not overthinking it. And then being disciplined. I mean, it's not easy to say, cool, I'm just going to put my phone away.
No, exactly. And then also being like okay with the fact that sometimes things don't go to plan, and still, like just being fine with, okay, I feel tired this morning, so I slept in.
And also realize that you can still function. Your body's incredible machine. You can still function on, you know, if you had a bad night's sleep. I think it's that mindset. Like I used to be like, I would wake up and be like, oh, I slept terribly. I'm not going to be at my best today.
That's the thing.
But that's such a bad mindset.
Perfect segue.
You'd rather just be like, cool, I'm tired, but you know, my body's amazing. I'm going to get through. And you just, if you, you know, have positive thoughts and you know that you're going to be fine and get through the day, even if you are feeling a bit tired, or just say, I'm not tired. Like often your mindset can actually help you get through the day or get through tasks that you think you maybe not performing at optimal, you know. So it's important to have a good mindset.
Jonty, that's such a good point, because like, you can't then turn the sleep thing into an excuse, which I have also done with the vast amount of like research and reading up and like trying to hack this whole thing and building routines. Then sometimes I fall into the trap of saying, oh, you know, I'm not going to graph today because like I had a terrible night's sleep, so let me just write off the day. Like, no, I need to get into a better mindset and routine of like not writing off the day just because of your bad night's sleep. Like still doing the same thing and like doing your best, pushing through the day as best you can, even with your terrible night's sleep. I think that's also very important. But like we all know that's, you know, like at the end of the day, like sleep shouldn't be an excuse, but you know that as long as you know that it's really important. And I think like 80% of your time you sleeping well and you all of that sort of thing. And I mean, you got to prioritize it health wise and just performance wise.
What do you think about the you know, the tips that say you shouldn't like drink a lot before bed, or you shouldn't eat like 2 hours before you go to sleep? You know, what do you think of those kind of tips?
I mean, I've definitely seen those where, you know, there's this one sleep doctor that I follow. He did a cool podcast on the Calm app where he said, okay, no caffeine after 12 p.m. and no alcohol, like, you know, right before you go to sleep or like in the evening, to get your best sleep. But I think it's also very personalized, and you have to, I mean, the funny thing actually was that guy, that sleep doctor, he recommended, his name is Michael Bruce, for anyone who's interested, Breus. He actually recommended that if you are hungry, rather eat right before you go to sleep so that you don't wake up in the middle of the night with hunger pains. I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but it doesn't happen to me. I don't get hungry.
Never happened to me.
I don't get hungry at night.
Can't think of anything worse.
I mean, I don't get hungry at night, but he said, interestingly enough, he said that like there's no problem with having a snack right before you go to sleep so that you don't wake up hungry, because then obviously you disrupt your sleep. But you know, I don't know, it's interesting because I felt I can still sleep, right? If I have a coffee right before I go to sleep, I can still sleep fine. Like I don't not sleep, but I can feel the quality of sleep isn't as good because, you know, I feel like I'm in a lighter sleep. Also, like with alcohol, I feel like that I'm in a lighter sleep, and it's not as like regenerative and not as like restful. Whereas if I don't have coffee, or if I don't have a lot of alcohol before I go to sleep, I'll feel better because you're actually going into like a deeper sleep. I can feel myself like, it's also weird to say, like I can feel myself on the surface, if that makes sense. Like I'm in a lighter sleep throughout. You know, if I'm having coffee or alcohol. So that I've also just taken note that I can sleep, but it's not as good. And you know, and for you, is that also the same or not really?
I mean, I think that makes sense. I think not eating so close to bedtime, like 2-3 hours before, is probably like the best. And then also avoiding, I used to eat chocolate before I went to bed. Chocolate's actually a stimulant, right? So it's got
sugar.
Yeah, but it's also got something in it. It doesn't have caffeine, does it? I don't know. Anyway.
Well, I mean, depends what chocolate you're having.
Anyway. So I think that's also important. And then not drinking a lot for me. I usually try to get all my liquids in the day, and then after like a certain time, I try drink less. So that I don't wake up needing to go to the toilet or something.
I mean, that's also important. Like this thing is very personalized though. Like when you get into this sort of stuff, it becomes very personalized. And I feel like for someone to give concrete advice what to do or
Yeah,
what
that's the
not to
thing.
do.
You can't.
You know, aside from science, like maybe if you were giving really scientific things, you know, evidence, then it's fine. But I think a lot of that stuff you have to do what is right for you and what feels good. You know, it's also like the same amount of sleep you need. It's really important. But I think, you know, it's, you know, because I know people listening to this, and you know, our sort of audience is, you know, people in business and you know, in the professional industries and in jobs, like, you know, I think to perform and to be your best, I think sleep is of utmost importance.
Hey everyone, before you go, I just wanted to jump in here and say, on behalf of Jonty and myself, thank you so much for watching that episode. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed that episode of Mindshift, check out some of our others. They should be around here somewhere on the screen. Also, subscribe to the channel and give this video a like for the YouTube algorithm. Till the next Mindshift,